The Knicks just finished losing to the Oklahoma City Thunder by the score of 129 to 120, and Chris and I are here to break it all down. What's up, guys? It's your boy Dariel and Chris from Knicks Digest. Before we move on to today's video, Chris and I, we want to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever holiday you celebrate. Happy holidays from Knicks Digest. All right, Chris, man, before I throw it to you and just to get some of your takeaways from the game, I just wanted to say, as far as the game itself, I was actually encouraged. I was actually encouraged from what I saw. Christmas Day is like a national holiday for NBA. You know, it's kind of like when the actual season starts for like hoop heads. The casuals actually start watching basketball. And I feel like the days right after Christmas Day, there's a little bit of a lull. And I guess people, they get like less hyped. But that's why I was encouraged. I was encouraged seeing these Knicks like keeping up with the Oklahoma City Thunder, who in my eyes are a up and coming team who are not that far off from being a true contender in the West. But yo, tell me what you saw from tonight's game.
Honestly, there was points, as you said, where things were encouraging from the Knicks. And then there's also points that weren't encouraging, like letting Jalen Williams score 36 points. I know he's a good player. He averages 18 points per game. He doubled that. He didn't miss a three tonight. Then Shea, who scored 36 points, also pulled down 7 rebounds, got 8 assists, shot 13 for 23 and 2 for 5 from 3. It's the same stuff with the Knicks where they just don't guard threes at all.
Yeah.
Just not. And the Thunder shot 44% from deep to show tonight.
Yeah, you've been saying it since like the videos, since we started putting out videos together. Like the one thing you've been saying is that we're horrendous at defending the 3-point line. But also going into this game, I think a lot of people were looking at the matchup between Jalen Brunson and SGA. So you and I, we've obviously been like the captain of the ship as far as like Jalen Brunson deserves to have more attention on him as far as being one of the better point guards in the league. SGA last season was first team All NBA. Sometimes I still look at that and I'm like, oh, wow. Because if you're first team All NBA, as far as for one season, you were one of the best 5 players in the NBA. That's kind of all NBA, in my opinion, is kind of like a snapshot of each season. All first team NBA, second team, third team. You're looking at the 15 best players for a particular season. And SGA made the first team, so he was like one of the first 5 best players in the league last season. And every time I'm reminded of that, I just like keep forgetting of how good of a player he really is. So me personally, I was looking at the Brunson SGA matchup. Brunson finished with 24 points. He finished with 4 rebounds, 7 assists, shooting 9 of 19 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3-point. Not great. Can you hit me with SGA stats for tonight again?
Yeah, of course. So Shea scored 36 points, pulled down 7 rebounds, got 8 assists. Also stole the ball twice and blocked 2 shots.
Yeah.
Leads the league in steals, though, so that's not shocking there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Brunson did a bad job, but this is where Brunson, I feel like, this is where Brunson has one of his, I guess you could say weaknesses. It's just like he's small, and when you're going up and now point guards, shooting guards, they're like average NBA height is like 6'5" and above. So Brunson is able to make it up with like his basketball IQ, his footwork, and all that. But there are going to be nights where he's going to be struggling, and he didn't necessarily struggle, but I did see him. It was just a lot more harder for him to get his buckets, if you will.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that kind of showed in his shooting tonight. His shooting splits were obviously not great tonight. They weren't bad. The 1 for 5 from 3 is kind of demoralizing when you think about how well he shot on the season. It's not like he had a bad game. I mean, almost certainly the best player on the Knicks, and he really still put up 24 points and got 7 assists. So it's not like Jalen Brunson went out there and played horrible basketball. He definitely did not.
Right. Somebody that I think we could say did play really bad tonight was RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett finished with 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, shooting 5 of 14 from the floor. Not great. 3-pointers, he only made 1 of 7, which is really not great. Yeah, he's just struggling, man. I mean, this is, again, for the millionth time, this is the relationship that Knicks fans have with RJ Barrett. He's up and down. He's a roller coaster. Yeah, I mean, nights like this, I can't really make an excuse. I like RJ, but he's just very inconsistent, man.
He just cannot be taking half of his shots from behind the arc. When RJ was coming into the league in 2019, imagine hearing, he's going to be shooting around half of his shots from 3, almost every single game that you see them play. That is not a good look. RJ came in, and the one weakness was the guy can't really shoot I don't know why he shoots as much as he does. I get that he had a hot start and the migraine threw him off. But now, since then, he's been shooting poorly. He just shot 5 for 14 on the game. And then if you take out those threes, then what he shoot? He shot 4 for 7. That's not as bad. It's the fact that he insists on shooting so many threes. I think part of that is the poor fit with Brunson and Randall, but also he just has to stop doing that.
I do also want to focus on two players that I think Thibodeau did a really bad coaching job on Dante DiVincenzo and Emmanuel Quickly. He took them
Yeah.
out of the game when I feel like they were the ones that were like just on fire. Specifically Emmanuel Quickly. Emmanuel Quickly finished the game with 22 points. 2 assists. He was shooting 7 and 10 from the floor and 4 or 5 from three. Like Quickly was like, okay, I'm gonna take a step back. I know I don't want to say I'm a Quickly hater, but I just want to say that Quickly tonight when he's rolling like that, man. Like I just love. I look. It seems like everything is very easy for him. And like his threes look like they're in stride. He's able to get to the paint, pump fakes, getting the hit, throwing the ball up, getting 2 free throws. Like the game seems very easy to him. And all I'm gonna say is I hope this season in the playoffs, I hope we really see a big step from Emmanuel Quickly. But back to tonight. Quickly, yeah, he was definitely one of the highlights, and yeah, I just feel like Coach Tibbs, like he put RJ in for Quickly. I think it was like 4 minutes left in the game, and
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, like that's not a good substitution right there, man. Did
It
you?
didn't make any sense. It just did not make any sense to take Quickly out of that game. When he's playing like that, he has that weird ability that some guys have where you could just make one shot and instantly change the momentum of the game.
Facts.
He's just a highlight type player. He's also an excellent defender. I didn't see the point in taking out a guy who's shooting the best of any guy on the team, and then also taking out DiVincenzo, who's shooting the second best of any guy on the team.
Yeah.
That was a really poor decision by Tibbs tonight. His coaching's been strange. To only play Quentin Grimes 11 minutes in a game where you're playing against an elite guard who's on the taller side seems very strange to me. I don't know what Tibbs was doing tonight. I did not love the way that he was coaching the game. I mean, the Knicks paid for it because the second that Quickly and DiVincenzo came out, the Knicks went on a run. And also, I'm a huge fan of Julius Randle, but can you stop arguing with the refs every single possession?
Mm.
That the When momentum shifted because Jalen Williams hit that three that Hartenstein got that late contest to, that's Randall's man. And you're too busy getting upset that you didn't get the foul. I understand that's frustrating. Don't get me wrong. But the fact is, we need to win this game. And if you're going to be arguing with the ref, that's going to make it a 4-on-5 for no reason. The ref is not going to change the call because you're arguing with them. There is no NBA ref who's going to be like, oh, well, if you think that this was the call because it happened against you, sure, let me just change it in the middle of the next possession. That's never happened and it's never going to.
Yeah, no, facts. I'm glad you said it and I didn't because I was definitely thinking it. But yeah,
I'll do it.
I mean,
I support Julius a lot, and that's some constructive criticism. That's my biggest criticism of Julius Randle on the season is he has to just stop complaining. Stop complaining to the refs.
yeah, definitely. As far as tonight, besides complaining for the refs, I mean, he had a good game, finishing with 25 points, 9 rebounds. As far as shooting from the field, 7 of 15. I mean, he was 1 of 4 from three, but I mean, 3 point, we know that's not his strong suit, even though he's been shooting the ball a little better lately. But I
Mhm.
mean, he's like we keep saying these last few weeks, he's been coming on strong. Looks like he's getting more comfortable with that ankle. So he's playing good. I mean, I'm just like I just wish we would have got that W because like it would have been so good looking at it from the perspective of like I said in the beginning of the video. It's like after Christmas, I feel like there's a little lull, and it's kind of like the dog days of the NBA, and it's like, oh wow, you go into Oklahoma City on a Wednesday night, and it's like, and OKC being a good up and coming team is like that's a to me that would have been an impressive W, but. I mean, we'll see. Now they're on the road against Orlando on Friday. Hopefully, they get that W. In between the game finishing and us starting this video, I was doing a little research and I was kind of just looking at the point guards through the landscape of the NBA, Eastern Conference and Western Conference. Yo, okay, Luca and Steph, I think they're in the stratosphere all by themselves, Luca and Steph. But then I feel like there's that next tier where I feel like there's a lot of point guards that are in that tier. I got Jamal Murray from Denver. I got De'Aaron Fox. I got Tyrese Maxey. I got Halliburton. I got SGA is in that tier as well. But the thing is with Brunson, I feel like Brunson may be at the head of the second tier because some of those players they don't have the experience, i.e., Maxey and Halliburton, of being in the playoffs.
Mhm.
Um, Murray's an interesting player because like he has a ring under his belt, but you can say that ring it wasn't off the back of Jokic, but Jokic was like a huge part of that ring. So Murray's that's something that's I'm gonna have to dive into those numbers. But yeah, man, I mean, seeing what he did on Christmas Day, like, what do you feel is the noise around Brunson and the best point guard in the league?
I mean, first of all, just after watching Shea tonight and all season, he's in that tier with Steph and Luca.
Oh, you think
But
so? You think he's in like
for
the
sure, for sure, I think I watching tonight in my mind, as much as I love Jalen Brunson, and I do think that if you were to debate who is better between guys just any single point guard in the Eastern Conference, honestly, I think Brunson has the best argument as the best player because Brunson's been to the conference finals, obviously in the West, not in the East, but he was a huge part of that. He led the Knicks. Trae Young and the Hawks have been a disaster.
Trae Young? Yeah.
And I mean, not to take away from anything that they did in that run, but they didn't exactly play the best of the best in 2021. That was a bad Knicks team. And then the next round
The only other Eastern
really fell
Conference
apart.
the only other Eastern Conference point guard I can think of is Darius Garland. But Darius Garland, as of late, like even before his fractured jaw, like you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, they weren't gelling, they weren't clicking. So it's like, I'm sorry, man, like you're not really part of this conversation. Like you're a talented
Also,
player, but go ahead, my bad.
what point guard did he lose to in the first round of last year's playoffs?
Yeah,
That's the same thing you could say about Donovan Mitchell. If you look at Jalen Brunson, I think the best argument for a point guard that right now, or for I'll go with two guys who you could say are better than Brunson in the Eastern Conference. You could say Dame just because of everything he's done already as it is, and because he is starting to heat up. He's been getting better in the past few weeks, so maybe
yeah.
he's finding his usual Dame self. And then just based off his numbers, Halliburton. But as you said, Halliburton has zero playoff experience, and I think that matters. And
No, 100% it matters. Yeah,
I would say Brunson because is this all Halliburton's fault that he's never been in the playoffs? Of course not. But that doesn't really matter. Like
yeah, and like up until this very moment, like Brunson is ahead of him, but by the time May or June comes and Halliburton might have a deeper playoff run, depending on how he plays within that deep playoff run, things might change. But as far as like
exactly.
this moment right now, I don't know why Brunson isn't getting like when people say Brunson and best point guard in the league, I feel like people kind of scoff at it, but it's like I
Mhm.
don't understand why people are scoffing at it. Like, and yeah, my bad. Go
I
ahead.
think it's a mix of one. It's the Knicks, and people are so
Right.
accustomed, especially newer fans, are so accustomed to just if you hear the Knicks, it's just synonymous with this is a bad team, which obviously is just far from the truth now. The Knicks really had a pathway to the finals last season,
Right.
come the playoffs, and then I guess because Brunson wasn't an all-star last year, and as far as famous Knick players go, he's only so far there. It's the way that the last superstar to really be in the Knicks, to be on the Knicks, and I am counting Brunson sort of in that stratosphere, but not exactly where Melo was when they got him. It's Carmelo Anthony. Like
Right.
he's the best player since Patrick Ewing for the Knicks to have. It's still him. Could Brunson take that spot? Of course. I'm not saying he can't, but when Melo showed up, everyone's like, oh, it's Carmelo Anthony. He's one of the biggest names in basketball. He's as much celebrity as he is NBA superstar. Also, again, he was better than Jalen Brunson at the time of the Knicks acquiring Melo and then of the time the Knicks acquiring Brunson.
Mm,
Melo was already an established superstar. Where Brunson's building his name in New York, and
that's
I think
fair.
that's tough because, as I said, it gets synonymous with being bad and being bad at basketball, even though that's not true. And also because the stats that you see with a guy like Tyrese Halliburton, where he's putting up 25 and 14, and sure the Pacers are good, but as we literally just said, it's not as fully his fault. But we've seen what Brunson's done in the playoffs. We haven't seen what Halliburton's done. When you got two guys who are that close, it's hard to not lean on the guy who's played playoff basketball.
We're gonna leave it there for you guys. Leave it in the comments. Let us know what you thought about the Knicks' performance tonight against the OKC Thunder. Let us know if you had the same feelings regarding Coach Thibodeau's substitution pattern toward the end of the game. And yeah, Chris, Friday we're at Orlando, another up and coming team. Very talented, very young,
Sure.
and it's gonna be interesting just to see how we match up with them.
I think it's a good matchup for the Knicks, but obviously you never know with the New York Knicks. They very much feel like the benchmark of is this a truly great team or is this a team that still needs time? Because that's really just what the Knicks feel like right now is a good middle of the road team. Not saying like middle of the road like playing, but as far as the good teams go, I think the Knicks are so middle of the road. They're kind of your benchmark of pretender and contender. So it'll be
Yeah,
cool to see their first game against the Magic, especially because these two teams very much could see each other in the first round come May.
facts. All right, guys. We'll check you out in the next video. Peace.
Peace.